Have you ever felt trapped in a cycle of guilt, constantly blamed for problems you didn't create? Picture this scenario. Let's call our protagonist Jane. Jane finds herself in a relationship where she's always apologizing, always shouldering the blame. But why? She's entangled in a web of emotional manipulation, a particular kind known as a narcissistic guilt trip. It's a cunning strategy where the narcissist, often subtly, makes Jane feel responsible for their unhappiness or failures. It's a continuous cycle, a never-ending loop of guilt and blame. It's emotionally draining, leaving Jane feeling like she's navigating an intense storm without a compass. The emotional impact? It's immense, and it's negative. It robs Jane of her self-esteem, her confidence, and her peace of mind. It's a dark corner of manipulation, a twisted game of blame and guilt. It's as if you're stuck in a maze where every turn leads to guilt. What happens when the supposed victim is really the puppeteer, pulling at your heartstrings? Narcissistic men often employ a tactic known as the martyr complex, a psychological phenomenon where they portray themselves as the victim in order to manipulate others, particularly their partners, into feeling guilty. Imagine Jane, a strong, independent woman who found herself in a relationship with a man who always seemed to be at the mercy of the world. He had a knack for spinning tales of woe, always the underdog, always mistreated. Jane, being empathetic, found herself feeling guilty and responsible for his happiness, unaware that she was being manipulated. This is the martyr complex in action. The narcissistic man playing the victim, not because they are helpless, but because it serves their purpose. They manipulate your emotions, making you feel guilty for things beyond your control, pulling the strings to keep you tied to them. When the manipulator plays the victim, it's a twisted game of chess where your emotions are the pawns. Can you trust your own memory when someone insists it's faulty? Picture this, a woman named Lisa, caught in a whirlwind of doubt and confusion. She remembers things one way, but her partner insists they happen differently. This is gaslighting, a manipulative tactic designed to induce guilt and maintain control. Lisa's partner, a master at twisting reality, would deny events, alter facts, and create alternate narratives, leaving Lisa questioning her own sanity. He'd say, "You're remembering it wrong," or "You're overreacting," making her feel guilty for trusting her own perceptions. This constant state of uncertainty weakened Lisa's self-confidence, making her more susceptible to guilt and manipulation. This is the insidious nature of gaslighting. It's like living in a funhouse, where your reflections are distorted, making you doubt your own reality. But remember, gaslighting is a trick, a narcissist's ploy to control and dominate. Gaslighting distorts your reality, a funhouse mirror reflecting a guilt-ridden self-image. What if love became a weapon, used to control and manipulate you? A chilling thought, isn't it? Yet this is the reality for many who are victims of emotional blackmail, a covert yet potent manipulative strategy for control. Take Jane, for example. Jane was in a relationship where the weapon of guilt was frequently wielded. She was made to feel guilty for her successes, for her friendships, even for her own happiness. Her partner had a knack for twisting situations, making her feel like she was the villain when she was, in fact, the victim. This is the crux of emotional blackmail, using guilt as a chain to bind and control. The manipulator in Jane's life used her love and empathy against her, weaponizing her emotions to maintain control. His tactics? Fear, obligation, and guilt, often referred to as the fog of emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail turns love into a chain, binding you with guilt. It's time we break these chains. How can you break free from the guilt, regain control, and reclaim your life? The key is developing a keen self-awareness. Recognize when you're being manipulated, when your guilt is not a result of your actions, but a tool being used against you. Consider the story of Jane, a woman who found herself trapped in a guilt-driven relationship. She started to notice a pattern. Every time she tried to express her needs or assert her independence, her partner would twist the situation to make her feel guilty, so she set boundaries. She made it clear that her feelings were valid and that she wouldn't be guilt-tripped into submission. She sought professional help, working with a therapist to unpack the manipulation and build her resilience. Jane's story is a testament to the power of self-awareness, boundaries, and seeking help. Remember, you have the right to live free from manipulation. With knowledge and courage, you can cut the strings of manipulation and step into a guilt-free future.